And news just coming in, the Enforcement Directorate has filed its charge sheet against senior Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi and Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, in the National Herald case. It's a case of money laundering that was filed against them, and the Enforcement Directorate has filed its charge sheet. The ED has filed a prosecution complaint in the Delhi's Rouse Avenue court against Congress MPs Rahul Gandhi, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, and Congress Party MP in Rajya Sabha, Sonia Gandhi, and also Indian Overseas Congress Chief Sam Pitroda in the National Herald money laundering case. The charge sheet also names former senior journalist Suman Dubey amongst others. The court is has scheduled the hearing of cognizance arguments for the 25th of April. Big story coming in. The Enforcement Directorate has filed its charge sheet, and we'll get you details of that in just a moment. So a charge sheet that has now been filed in the National Herald case, in that money laundering case against Sonia Gandhi, Congress MP in Rajya Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, Leader of Opposition in the Lok Sabha. And this is a money laundering case that's been filed linked to the National Herald case. The Enforcement Directorate has filed a prosecution complaint in Delhi's Rouse Avenue court against both Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and also against Indian Overseas Congress Chief Sam Pitroda in this money laundering case. The charge sheet also names Suman Dubey and others. Now, this case has been scheduled for hearing for cognizance for the 25th of April. And I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Munish Pandey for more on the story. Munish, bring us details of the charge sheet in this case.
Well, Gaurav, at this point of time, what we are hearing is that a charge sheet has been filed in the National Herald case. And remember, Gaurav, why this charge sheet is important, because in this case, Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi both were questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. Their statements were recorded, and several properties linked to National Herald were, even searched by the Enforcement Directorate. What is more important is, Gaurav, at this point of time, is to mention that these properties are worth more than 2,000 crore rupees. And according to the Enforcement Directorate, during the investigation, they found that these three properties, one the National Herald House in Delhi, and the property in Mumbai, and the third property in Lucknow, these properties were, being used by Young India linked to Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. And they had paid only 50 lakh rupees, and technically they were using these properties worth more than 2,000 crore rupees. Recent development is that the ED has already started possession of these properties, which means that these properties, the National Herald House and the two properties belonging to National Herald in Lucknow and Mumbai, these properties will be taken over by the Enforcement Directorate. So it's a huge development as far as this case is concerned. Remember, Gaurav, when Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi both were questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in this case, there were far-reaching political implications. There were Congress leaders across the country who came on street, and they were alleging that this is nothing but a political vendetta by the Bharatiya Janata Party, by the centre. But right now, what is important here is that a charge sheet has been filed, which means that the next stage of case is going to be trial in the case in which Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi have been named as accused in the case.
So certain allegations were made, certain investigation has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate, on the basis of which a charge sheet has now been filed. Your sources in the Enforcement Directorate, what is the corroborative evidence that they were able to gather? Because all of this, to a very large extent, had been very carefully documented by Dr. Subramaniam Swamy and certain others. Of course, that there was an independent investigation by the Enforcement Directorate too. So what have they been able to, what have your sources been able to tell you?
Well, Gaurav, remember, in this case, the investigation by the Enforcement Directorate started after a court order in which National Herald and people linked to National Herald were named as accused. Now, the main allegation was by Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, and based on those allegations, ED started investigation in this particular case. During the investigation, there were several statements recorded by the Enforcement Directorate. There were several documents which were recovered by the Enforcement Directorate during the investigation of the case. One important document was regarding Young India, in which merely 50 lakh rupees was paid to technically take over the position of these properties, which means that the rent these properties were generating worth more than 2,000 crore. All those rents were coming in the account of Young India, and Young India had its directors like Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and that is why the ED earlier decided to record statements of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. Remember, Rahul Gandhi was called in by the Enforcement Directorate for 5 days. Even Sonia Gandhi was called in by the Enforcement Directorate. Their statements were recorded, but the ED finally concluded that indeed Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi are ultimate beneficiaries of National Herald properties, and that is why when this charge sheet has been filed, which in technical language is a prosecution complaint, this charge sheet has been filed naming Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and it is going to be extremely important as far as the case is concerned, but it will have far-reaching political implications, Gaurav, because remember, the Congress party has been alleging that this is nothing but political vendetta. But as far as ED is concerned, they are maintaining that they have, evidence in the case, and based on the evidence, they have filed this charge sheet. Gaurav.
This is a very big case, and for the benefit of viewers joining us, this is a case that's been on since 2014. It was in 2014 that a Delhi trial court had found prima facie evidence and summoned Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and several others, including Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, Suman Dubey, Sam Pitroda. Rashid Alvi joins me, senior Congress leader Rashid Alvi joins me on this broadcast. Rashid Alvi, now that the case has been filed, ED has filed its charge sheet against Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi in this money laundering case. How will the Congress respond to this, sir?
For a very long time, it is going on, and it's totally revengeful. Motilal Vora, they have filed charge sheet against Motilal Vora. Whether he will take out from grave or what, they have filed charge sheet against Oscar Fernandez. Where is Oscar Fernandez? From where he will bring before the court? It is all revengeful. Basically, Bharatiya Janata Party, they are scared of Gandhi Parivar and Congress Party. They have this strong feeling it is only Congress Party which is an alternative to Bharatiya Janata Party and may form the government. That is the reason, revengefully, they are doing all this. Vada was summoned. His case was in 2008, after 17 years. You are summoning him. After 17 years, you have no evidence. No proof. So just you are defaming this Gandhi family, nothing else.
Sir, stay with me. I have Nalin Kohli joining me on this broadcast, an advocate himself, spokesperson of the BJP, senior advocate. Nalin Kohli, Congress says this is BJP using the ED to tarnish the image of the Congress party leadership, and this is vendetta politics, sir.
That's an expected sort of reaction coming from the Congress party, Rahul. In fairness, we need to go back to the merits of the case. The National Herald matter involves the takeover of the National Herald by a company called or a trust called Young Indians. Broadly, the entire assets shifted for a paltry sum to the control of the Nehru Gandhi family. If I recall correctly, the Nehru Gandhi family, with Sonia Gandhi and others, are possibly out on bail. Several related issues also, they did not get any legal sort of benefit, because after all the matter had gone on before the Congress, before the income tax also. So the answer lies in the merits of the case, rather than just simply coming up with a statement that this is vendetta politics. Secondly, if a charge sheet is filed, then by due process, it will now go before a court. The court will then look at whether charges need to be framed, take cognizance of it. And that would be an opportunity for them to be able to legally point out Is there enough material that cognizance of the charges should not be taken? But given the history and what is in the public domain, that is something while due process of court will decide on it. Certainly there are several very difficult questions that they need to answer. And
Okay.
I don't think just a bold statement of saying this is vendetta politics, misuse of ED would suffice.
Okay. Sir, stay on with me. Rashid Alvi, on facts and on merits, will the Congress respond on facts and merits either in the political domain or in courts of law, or will keep it restricted, as Nalin Kohli of the BJP says? It's just a bold statement saying that this is vendetta politics. There is essence that the BJP claims, or the ED in its charge sheet. If there is evidence, it has to be argued out in court, Rashid Alvi.
Even the child of this country knows this very fact. ED is working under the pressure of Bharatiya Janata Party. Just, I want to ask Kohli Saab, you just let me know, if after 10 years, Gandhi family comes out clean from court, then who will be responsible for this 10 years? Charge sheet is filed, it is all right. But who will be responsible during these 10 years? You are continuously defaming a family. Continuously you are defaming Congress party just on the basis of baseless documents, baseless evidence. If they come out cleanly from the court, then who will pay for these 10 years? Whether media will decide who is wrong, who is right, or court will decide. If you are so serious...
Mr. Kohli, you want to quickly respond?
Of course,
Mr.
I
Kohli,
will
you want to quickly
respond.
respond?
Of course, I
Go
will
on, sir.
respond. Thank you, Rahul. First, Rashid Alvi Saab is a very senior political person. I respect him enormously. And Alvi Saab has, of course, held political positions too. But with respect, I would like to just point out that in law, none of his arguments would work. First, he has said that the ED works under the BJP. The ED, or the Enforcement Directorate, is an investigative agency working under the government, not the BJP. The BJP as a political entity does not have an investigative arm. Number two, the ED has to prove its case in court. It is not as if they have decided something. They also understand, as any investigative agency, if they file a charge sheet, they have to now be able to defend that charge sheet, which is what gives them, the Congress party and its leadership, an opportunity to be able to say that this is right or wrong. But if the court takes cognizance, you can't blame then the ED or anyone. That is due process of court. And again, whether it is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, Rashid Alvi Saab, you, me, any other citizen of the country, how can we say that due process of court will not apply to anyone just because of a political position or a legal position or something like that? Third, if after 10 years, which is a question he has raised, suppose they come out to be innocent. Now first, that is a suppose. There is equally the possibility that the court may hold them to be guilty. Now what happens in that case? Would this argument be taken? No. There was, now that they are held to be guilty, at that time the Congress party said it's political vendetta, so will the Congress party at that time apologize? So this is all on suppose. It does not, stand in place to due process of law. And last and most important, if a matter takes 10 years before any court of law for all due process to get over, from a lower court to the high court to the Supreme Court, with due respect, that is the legal process. How can someone turn around and say that it should be shortcut for X, Y, Z? Because that person is an important person in the understanding of, say, the Congress party. So I don't think these arguments will work. If the Congress party or the Nehru-Gandhi family, Mrs. Gandhi, anyone, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, believe they have a watertight case, then the first thing they would do is defend it wholesomely and probably seek, if the court does frame charges, then they would probably not like to take a single adjournment. They would like to probably argue it on a day-to-day basis so they can claim their name or clear their name. But on the other hand, if they start taking dates after dates, and they are entitled to if they for their defense, then they can't blame the court for the delay. That would be an unfair comment on the legal process.
Rashid Alvi, the political points that you make, Nalin Kohli says, do not hold good in a court of law. Court of law goes by evidence that's placed before them. And in case, he says, in case the Gandhis are not guilty, they wouldn't seek adjournment. They would want the case to be played out in court without a single adjournment, sir. Response, sir.
No, I have respect, Kohli Saab. Kohli Saab is a very a sincere and serious person. And to one extent, I agree with him. Charge sheet is filed, and lawyers of Enforcement Directorate will argue in favor of charge sheet. But just you let me know, Kolika, 10 years continuously case will go on. Who is giving all this information? What it is doing to the media? Definitely, it is giving all this information.
Sir,
Why?
now that a charge sheet has been out,
Listen.
India Today has accessed those documents. If you see, the
Listen
charge
to
sheet
me.
details are there on India Today. It's just been filed in Rouse Avenue Court, and India Today's Munish Pandey got that exclusive report first live and exclusive here on India Today.